Party peoples, we back again on this Throwback Friday. It's not Throwback Friday, it's Flashback Friday. That's it, Flashback Friday. Let's get it popping, man. Welcome to the Spin Room. I'll be your man, Big Pee Wee. That's DJ Ron C, J Tasha, Big Les. And today, ladies and gentlemen, we got a good one for y'all, man. We got a special guest in the building, Big Les.
Woo! I'm always excited to roll out the red carpet for my brother. He hails from Barbados, but took over Harlem by storm. Of course, he is like the quintessential New Yorker. I love him to the ends of earth. You guys know him as the Human Beatbox. Think about the Get Fresh crew with Barry B and Chill Will. Oh my goodness, oh my gracious. Down with like Slick Rick and of course, Inspector Gadget and Lottie Dottie. And of course, he is the ultimate showman of all times. Ladies and gentlemen, rolling out the red carpet, lifting up the velvet rope for my brother, Dougie Fresh.
Yeah.
Dougie in the building.
Ladies and gentlemen.
I don't know what happened.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Human Beatbox, Dougie Fresh in the building. What up, Doug? How's everything?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Man, beautiful. Thank you once again for taking the time out your day to rock with the Spin Room crew. Thank you so much, my brother. Truly appreciate it.
Oh, it's appreciated, brother. I appreciate being on your show. Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
You are the hardest working man for the last, 4 decades, non-stop, my brother?
Hey, look, you was working with me, so you know the work. It's all about putting in the work.
Okay.
Dougie.
Please let everybody know, I guess, your humble beginnings, how you really got into the game.
Well, I go back to 1981. Wow. That's the first time I performed at Harlem World in 1981. And I came up under, a lot of the different people from DJ Hollywood to Busy B to Lovebug Starsky to Cold Crush Brothers, Treacherous 3, all of those guys. So I was that kid that was right there when Busy B battled Kumo D. I was there when the Cold Crush battled Fantastic. I was in MC contests that go back then. I was probably around 13 years old or something. And I was sitting on the side of the stage, or I would get on. So I came up in hip hop in the most purest form. And so that's why when I was coming up in it, it was about creating your own style. So that's how I came up with the beatbox, because all of the elements, you had the 4 elements in hip hop. So I made the beatbox up as something that was just something to create your own style. You didn't look like nobody. You didn't sound like nobody. You did what you do. And that's where, that's the element and the generation of hip hop I came up under. So from 81 all the way to 2020, I'd have to say I definitely been putting in some work. You know what I mean?
That you have.
I don't really know nobody at this particular time that I can say that I know personally that really in each, like myself, that go back that far, and that and that's still working today. I don't mean that in a slight to anybody. I'm just saying, I know Hollywood. But he may not work as much as I do, or Lovebug, he was there. I'm not taking nothing away from anybody. I'm just saying that it's been from that moment of when I fell in love with hip hop all the way to this moment of us speaking right now. I've been doing hip hop ever since then, and I haven't done nothing else. I've never had a job. This is it.
Hey, that's a beautiful thing to say, though. You know what I'm saying? So, Dougie, in this time, you was talking about, we all know, you're the Human Beatbox. But where did you come up with, where did you get the idea of beatboxing? I know back in the day, we used to sit in high school and beat on the table and everything like that. But where did you say, okay, I'm going to perfect being the human beatboxer?
Well, that's a great question. And I guess the summarized answer that I can give you is that it wasn't something that I just thought of doing out of the clear blue sky. what basically happened was in my school, because when I live in Harlem, and my school, I had a teacher named Brother Lee, and he was teaching us different instruments, and I came to his class and I asked him, he asked me, what did I want to play? I told him I wanted to play the percussions and the drums. And he said, okay, cool, but I want you to play the trumpet first. And I was like, well, why you ask me if you want me to play the trumpet first? You know what I'm saying? So he said, trust me. He said, if you take this instrument home, you learn it, you take care of it, then when you come back, I'll let you play the drums and the percussions. I said, all right. So I kept taking this trumpet home every day. And then one day I came to school and Brother Lee was no longer the music teacher. They cut all of the programs of the music in all of the Black schools throughout the country. All schools, the music program was cut. I don't know if that happened to you, but it happened to me. So at that point, all of the exercises and all of the things I used to do, I used to continue to do without a trumpet. And I used to walk home and listen to the music from the mom and pop record shops with the big speakers outside. So I used to start making up the music and practicing the songs. And then I would start with the bass line, then I used the drums, the kick, the snare, the hi-hat, the keyboards, and all of the other instruments until I learned how to do maybe 8, 9 things at one time. So then I went to Barry's house, who's my DJ. I have 2 DJs, Chill Will and Barry B from the Get Fresh crew. So long story short, I went to his house, and in the middle of him changing records, I started doing the beatbox. His mother came in and said, what record was that you was playing? And then, he said that was him. And then Barry came up with the name. He said, yo, you should do that when you do another jam, because we were doing jams in the summertime, jams throughout the city. He said, yo, you should do that and you should call it the Human Beatbox. I said, I'm not doing that. I said, I just be doing this when I go home. He turned around, he said, yo, I'm telling me, he said, yo, I've never seen nobody do nothing like that. You should do it outside. So when I did it outside, people lost their mind. And that was back in 81. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Like in 81, 82. So when I started doing it, my name and the word about it spread through New York City fast. And then that's when, I started doing shows in Long Island, and Biz used to try to run around me. And shout out to him too, because I heard he's sick and he's in the hospital. I was just talking to him. So me and Biz go back to 82. So Biz started running around with me and he started trying to learn the beatbox from me. And then, out in Brooklyn, obviously, you had the Fat Boys, and then it was other people. But the thought, the concept, the idea originated with me. And if Barry didn't call it the Human Beatbox, I probably would have never done that. Now, he said that because Flash used to play the beatbox. Flash is on the beatbox going right on the joints back in the day. So he said, what I'm doing is like, I'm doing it with me. I'm the human, you know what I'm saying? So, so then after that, he said, you should call it the Human Beatbox. And that's how that name was phrased. So anybody that say they did it, you should at least be able to know the origin of the name if that's what you created, right?
Right. Yeah.
Because we talk about that.
Like the name didn't exist. Huh?
No, you mentioned, like, we heard about the Fat Boys. We hear about Rozelle, who came after you.
Yeah.
They need to be paying homage to you as the godfather and the creator of the Human Beatbox. Sure.
Yeah. I mean, but and Les, for me, I don't even look at it like I'm explaining the story. But I mean, I love Rozelle. I mean, Buff was a good friend of mine. Rock Ski, I did over songs with the Fat Boys. Like, I mean, I think people know the truth about things, but sometimes they don't want to admit it because they feel they're going to lose something if they admit it. You see what I'm saying? I mean, it's just that I'm just telling you the true story of it. You know what I mean? And then from that, from me coming up with this, it turned into, I get beatboxes from New Zealand, from China, from Russia. One time in my restaurant in New York, I had a little thing. I said, whoever could come in the restaurant and if they could do the beat, I said, if you got a good beatbox, I'm gonna hook you up. I give you some chicken and waffles or some joke I said online. I came in there, was a kid with his mother. He started doing the beatbox. He was from Russia, and the only thing he could say was waffle. He said, after he started doing the beatbox, he said, waffle? Waffle? I said, this is crazy. This is crazy. Like, I never, you know what I mean? He came all the way from Russia. He heard about this thing, Meaning like he came